Romareda de Zaragoza, not only a very compact stadium, but one of the most torrid spots in Spain. It is very hot indeed, always is at this time of the year, and the stadium holds 43,000, but as you can easily discern in the background there, nobody is going to suffer from claustrophobia tonight. In fact, I believe that they might have hired rent-a-crowd for the next 90 minutes. A poor attendance for what really ought to be an attractive match. There's no question at all about it that we might see, and I hope this is taken only metaphorically, we might see a clash of styles this evening. Paraguay comes from the fringe of South American football, of course, and Ghana, one of the emerging nations. One of the nations we'll be watching in succeeding years because they've always been talked about as having marvellous potential. And in the stadium tonight, there will be many illustrious managers having a look not only at the talent which has not been snapped up by European clubs, but also some of them who have. We've got in the Ghanaian team number 12, Ossie Kufor, who's with Torino, Isaac Assery, who's with FC Anderlecht, Gaga number 4, who might come on later on for Torino, number 8, of course, the very famous Neil Ardo Telamte from FC Anderlecht, who'll be the man you'll be watching in the center of the field for Ghana. And so they have, and I've just, before I pass on, they also have number 18, Yao Preco from Anderlecht. The Paraguayans, probably less known about them. That's their team tonight. Ruiz, Duarte, Juanyara, Ayala, Gamara, Ferreira, Sosa, Sanabria, Alvarenga, Arce, and Caballero. Now, the last time I saw a Paraguayan team play was in the World Cup in Mexico, and I sat in the Azteca Stadium and watched England taking them apart with a couple of goals by Gary Lineker. There was a very famous player for the Paraguayan playing that night, and some of you who watched that game might remember him. Romarito, they called him Romero, but he was familiarly known as Romarito, went to Flamengo in Barcelona. So there is always great potential there as well for the Paraguayans, who do have a certain amount of South American flair, but who probably are a bit more physical. They played, if you're a Scottish viewer, and this might be a little painful for you, in 1958, they surprisingly beat Scotland. And I emphasize that surprisingly in the World Cup and in Sweden, the year that Brazil won it. So they have a little bit of a pedigree. They haven't advanced all that far. And of course, I said that we're playing for the dubious distinction of having to face up to the host nation, but I think they'll be very proud to get there because it will be the first time for either. And that number 8 you saw there was Hugo Ranfulo Sosa of Sportivo Lequeno. Emirates, Ali Boujaim. And off we go into this game. A bit of an unknown quantity to try and assess in terms of prediction. And I think the Spain-Italy game was a little bit of a disappointment. And we hope for a free-flowing game tonight from both of these teams, as that is picked up by Sosa. Flicked across there. Arce, neatly picked up there, and Ghana marking very closely, getting men right behind the ball very early in this game. Crossing the far side, Ayala. This is Preco. Neat little touch there, and you'll see some little moments like that showing the ball control of the Ghanaians. Solid tradition of football in Ghana. They've been finalists 4 times. They won it. In fact, they won the African Cup 4 times. The last time they were beaten in the final by the Ivory Coast by 12-11. And the under-17s performed very well indeed in the FIFA tournament. Andres Duarte from Cerro Porteño. Watch this man, number 2, Duarte. You'll find he's doing a lot of overlapping. He's virtually, in modern terms, he's a full-back who becomes the auxiliary winger. Taken away there by Yara. And the free kick. The offender there is Lamptey, who really ought to be a seminal figure in this field tonight. And what a pity. Look at that audience in the back. A game, a quarter-final, a vital one, which deserves a better audience than this. And going in very quickly there was Caballero. The goalkeeper, Anthony Mensah from Kotoko. Having mentioned the African Nations Cup, it was enormously disappointing last time out, where the games were afflicted by that modern disease, teams scared of losing. And it all turned out to be rather negative. Well, it's a hit or a miss tonight, and I hope these players are not similarly afflicted. Taken away by Ayala. Claimed for hands there against Preko. Preko brought into the side. 3 changes in the Ghanaian side. Preko being brought in, Ayi being brought in, Kufuor brought in from the last team. That's Kufuor, number 12, who plays for Torino. And in a sultry atmosphere, not just a test of skill, but of endurance and stamina. It may well be, with the lack of atmosphere in the stadium, we might not get the volatile game that sometimes the South Africans, or indeed the Africans, can produce. And anyway there by Ayala. Strong central defender. Taken by Yara. And it goes to Sosa. Running away there, Alvarenga. And then followed up there by Mauro Cabella. The man you see there, Amankwa, right in the middle of the fence. Almost getting a free header there. Back to Ferreira. Nicely cut off. Ari. The depth of football at the moment coming from the South Americans. Chipped in by Yara. And away there by Enyarko. The break is on. The way goes Kuma. Well, they're short of a yard or two at the moment, Ghana. And swept away by that very tall and impressive character, Celso Ayala from Olympia. Picking up number 9, Kwame Ayew. I don't know if... Well, I'll wait until we get another close-up. You might see a resemblance between he and Abedi Pele, the very famous player with Marseille. And there's no surprise about that, they're brothers. Whipped in there by Ankamwa. Just a little touch of hesitation about the way by the way the Ghanaians are playing at the moment. Could hardly be overawed. The atmosphere is almost cathedral-like. Touch there by Alvarenga. There he is, Alvarenga. Trying that searching ball, neatly taken there by Caballero. Looked as if he were being held back slightly. And Mensah almost getting down like a slip fielder. No problems with that at all. Mauro Caballero. Playing wide on the left and obviously showing already he's got a little bit of pace. And both teams just trying to settle in. We've played now about almost 7 minutes. Still no scoring. And they're obviously trying to use his man down the left, Caballero. Free kick. Referee right on the spot. There has been some variation on the quality of refereeing in this tournament so far. 13 red cards, by the way, on top of the 91 bookings. Oh, that's deep and it's good looking, and it looked to me as if there might have just been a little push on Kwame Ayew. Will be playing in the French First Division for Metz. Not just quite the team that his brother plays for in Marseille, I may say. Now let's see a little bit of pace now from midfield. It's all been a little deliberate and predictable. Ayew forward, whipped away again. Ayala, very solid in defense at the moment. And looked to me as if Kumar pulled back on his man, but the referee just waves play on. This is Ferreira. The overlap by Duarte, as I said. You'll see him a lot, almost as a kind of conventional winger. Broken up by Asari. Well, if they're going to break from defense like that, and the defenses are going to be tight, then that kind of inaccuracy is going to get them nowhere. Alexei and Yarko. I watched several of the African nations playing in Seoul in the last Olympic Games, and I think it was noticeable that up to about 3/4 of the way through some of the games they played, they looked well organized, well disciplined. In that last third of a game, they just seemed to disintegrate somewhere, lose the discipline, particularly in defense. And the way the game is shaping at the moment, the goalkeepers might, well, end up going for a refreshment before the half-time whistle goes. Nothing really intimidating in the way either going forward. Duarte. Again, perhaps looking for Caballero, and I think a free kick, yes. And Yako brought down. Which way across there, Reco. Well, you could see yourself from that close-up shot that there was no poise about the way he tried to part with the ball there. It was almost like he wanted to get rid of something, didn't want to hold on to too long. Nothing very constructive or creative about that. Well, I think if there were a break-in this match, the players would win, because I haven't had a head count yet. I think they'd make just slightly outnumber the players. That's the scoreline, with the opening 10 minutes gone. Yara. Ooh, he just touched it too far. Taken away by Nyarko. All the time in the world. Asari. Picked up there, and it's all a bit predictable, isn't it? Almost bogged down in midfield. Oh, neat little turn there by Argi. And in the middle is Ayew trying to get a break. Oh, there's a chance. Excellent goalkeeping. Ruben Martin Ruiz from San Lorenzo in Argentina. And it is said of this man, if he recovers from that he'll be the full Paraguayan goalkeeper. Well, they've got to be either half mad or very brave indeed to play in goal. And you can take your choice as to what this man is from that there. Although, having said that, it looks to me as if Kumar going in and goal was less courageous than the goalkeeper. A little faint-hearted approach to trying to score a goal. And there's got to be more conviction than that, because I think the chances are going to be few and far between. Well, Paraguay have kept a clean sheet in their opening two games. That was a man who had the challenge of the goalkeeper. Paraguay played Sweden in a goalless draw, and then Korea, and then they went on to beat Morocco by 3-1. And this man gets a great share of the credit for keeping these score sheets black. Well, if you were a betting man, who would you put your money on at the moment? Just get the impression there might be something up the Ghanaian sleeves. They haven't impressed so far, but they might acclimatize themselves and produce something rather special. That's Amankwa. Good running there by Ayew. Oh, a fair ton of pace, and he can't get away from his marker, though. The man I've been talking about, the strong and solid defender, Celso Ayala from Olympia, following him all the way. Just looked as if he might slip him, but he kept him in the net. But it does show you what I was hinting at there. I think there's something in much more volatile in the Ghanaians than we've seen so far. Up comes Amankwa, trying to give a little support now. Can they get the break, the Paraguayans? Nice little turn by Caballero. When Caballero gets the ball, there are times when you fancy he's much more cumbersome than a South American player really ought to be. But nevertheless, he's quite effective operating down the left. Asari. And they're certainly feeding this man, number 9, Kwame Ayew now. He's getting a lot of service. Preco. No, it looked a little bit predictable, that. Jink inside and go to the outside, and he doesn't take Ayala on. I beg your pardon, that was Juan Ramon Yara that time. So, throw. Amankwa. Oh, Amankwa got a gift. Looks like the little United States player we saw the other day, Kobe. Nobody coming through from the back. Now that was tactically rather naive. There was nobody supporting just outside the penalty area. Well, that's a better looking ball. Can he take on his man on the 1-2? Out to the outside, oh dear. Terrible finishing. Now they spread him about a bit there, and it was Ferreira who came in for the final effort. And they really, I think that was the first indication of the game, of a defense really being opened up. He actually looks small there, doesn't he, Anthony Mensah? But he's just under 6 feet. Well, smaller by comparison with some goalkeepers. It's a free kick. It'll be taken by Asadi. Well, it looked terribly predictable, that, but does he get a free kick out of it? He doesn't. He was taken away, brushed aside almost contemptuously by Andre Duarte. Well, we haven't seen enough of that skill shown there by Alex Enyarko. Neat little touch. Now the Ghanaians trying to grow in confidence. Preco. Well, that's a very good ball indeed, and that's in! The man who's been attacking and causing all the bother. Scoring that goal, number 9, Kwame Ayew. He jumped so well, the timing and the leap and the certainty that he was going to plonk it in the back of the net. And you've got to have that kind of touch to finish in a tight game. Up he went, and the goalkeeper, Ruben Ruiz, might have been slightly confused, thinking it was going to the outside of the post. And I did say earlier that Kwame Ayew had been getting a lot of service, and he certainly has capitalized on that. And full credit to the little player on the right, Preko, who set him up. Well, that little hunch I had about the Ghanaians at this stage is coming right. I thought they had that kind of subterranean quality which might surface, and it has. Now the Paraguayans have got to pick themselves up, keep the nerve, but Ghana growing in confidence, beautifully spread around there in Yarko. Free kick. In there to Alvarenga. On this side now, Yara. Left that defensive role, coming forward with a goal behind. Yara going in, good position. And almost finished off. Ferreira coming up. And all that came from the run on the left by Yara. And a very good turn there by Ferreira. Well, that's a way to come back if you've taken one on the chin, as the Paraguayans certainly have. Look at the three defenders round him. Excellently disciplined defense there. Now there's dangerous man. Ayew. I think his brother Abedi Pele would have been proud of him. Slipped across there by Ferreira. Taken away there. Slipped across by Kuma. And I think it is noticeable now, to the delight of the coach Samuel Ade, that the Ghanaians seem to be relaxing, becoming a bit more fluent and flexible in midfield. And of course, all African nations now are judged against the Cameroons in the World Cup in Italy. It doesn't matter what level they play at. People want to see this great, imaginative, creative fluency in midfield, which the Cameroons displayed. And that is a very hard model to copy. Well, just how significant this man Juan Ramon Yara is becoming on the left, number 4, picking up a lot of the action. Don't be deceived by the numbering. He's playing wide on the left, but he cuts inside. He is a right-footed player. Kuma. I suppose you might say the Paraguayans come from the fringe of South American football, not like the illustrious nations that are down there, but nevertheless, they can boast Olympia Asuncion, having twice won the Copa de Libertadores, which is the equivalent of the European Cup, twice, 79 and 90. Although when they came to Europe to play Milan in 1990 in the club World Cup final, they were beaten 3-0. Nice little touch, as it almost picked up there. Ferreira just taking his eye off it. Alvarenga coming in from midfield. Yeah, I just think there's more in this Ghanaian team. There's more potential. Well, anybody can translate that. At the back, Duarte. Push forward there. Kamara. No. Rather forlorn looking effort, that one. A lot of challenge in the Paraguayans in defense, but they're losing the ball far too easily as they move forward. They're playing the last third of the field ineffectual. Oh, I think you saw the little touch there by Amankwa coming forward there. That was not just skillful, it was confidence. They're willing to take defenders on now. Kufor. Touched in there by Kwai. Oh! Preko Basonia. Yes, coming right across the field there. Ayi swept it in and Preko Basonia. He's not a happy man. Now watch number 18. He's got to stand in the goalkeeper's sight as this ball comes across. The fullback Amankwa with it. Well, they had well covered Kwame Ayu that time, realizing the dangers. Picked up here by Kufor. And clearly this man number 9 is going to be very good in the air. He's already shown us his skill and his pace on the ground. And he has the complementary asset of getting up very well above big defenders. Defenders taller than himself. Oh, neatly, they're cooler. They are definitely cooler. Another goes from Kwai. Picked up by Ayu. Back into Kufor. Lenaryi. And I think there's, if I can call them poultry audience, beginning to appreciate some of the football the Ghanaians are turning on in midfield. Man with a disgruntled look there is Ricardo Sanabria from Cerro Porteño. Zaragoza halfway between Madrid and Barcelona. Nicely sighted politically. This will be taken by Aryi. Drifting away, there he is again. Ayu almost in there. Well, they're just leaving him up, well, at least in the earlier stages of the game, they were leaving him up front, trying to hit him with balls, and he was beginning to annoy and fluster the defense. Now they're getting more and more players forward, so he's getting a little help. So the threat by Ghana is increasing. Oh, that's more skillful. That was Aryi. And you've got to have confidence before you turn that on, and their confidence is growing. 1-0 up. The Ghanaians, the youngest squad on average. Swept away there. Ari. Oh, good run forward. Looking to the outside, surely offside, yes. By about a couple of yards. I was talking about the average ages. It is an under-23 tournament, of course, but some nations have been using the under-21 competitions that they've had as the basis for the Olympic squads, and Osea Kufor from Torino is only 15. Quite astonishing. Pereira. Inside there. Arce. And again, that ineffectual quality that I was talking about in the last third of the field. Caramba. Way wide now. Preco. Just going out. I think the Ghanaians would grow in even more confidence if they could put something else in here. Paraguay not showing at all now. Looking very ordinary indeed. Ghana beat Australia, by the way, 3-0, and of course they might come up against Australia yet. They're playing in a semi-final. Pereira. Side to Alvarenga. Getting a little bit bogged down though. That's wide again to this man, Yara. Well covered that time. And Paraguay get the corner kick out of it. Well, Preco, you've seen an attack. Number 18, there he was back defending. They've got to do that nowadays. Taken by Yara. Oh, that's dreadful. Not so much. I mean, you would not object to a ball that's pulling a goalkeeper off the goal line, but where oh where were players coming in from the right-hand side? We've almost played half an hour and still 1-0 for Ghana. And I think that's a little predictable. You could see the number of Ghanaians getting back there as soon as he tried that long diagonal ball across towards Yara, running from that midfield position. I think they've now sent them a letter about that, signed and sealed it. You know where that is the only danger really that there's been in the first half, that move. So it's a free kick. That's the man I was talking about. And there's Lamptey. Flitted in and out of this game. Oh, there's a touch of crap as well. Yeah, well, that was a rather nasty tackle when you see it in slow motion. Yara. Touch well forward there by Alvarenga. And again, the yellow jerseys back in numbers. Sosa. Oh, beautiful little touch. And certainly either Kumo or Kofa or Lamptey are turning on the style now. That was Kufa. Back there by Ayew. Well, and I think Ayew is perfectly correct to be complaining to the referee. Just pulled out of the play, rather cynically. Surprised the referee and the two linesmen didn't see that. Amankwa. And they've looked very good coming down the right here with Lamptey giving a lot of support to Preco. Well, that was laboured, but he got freedom as Pereira came in, and again that excellently drilled defence, just picking them off. They look at an extremely fit team, the Ghanaians, and perhaps they have a seasonal advantage because their championship runs from January to November, So I suppose in terms of training and development over a particular number of months, they could be considered to be, you know, mid-course at their peak. Whereas the South Americans, I suppose, are only at the start and our players at the end. And by the way, they're getting players to go forward and come back with that degree of alacrity. It strikes me that there are very, very fit Ghanaian players out there. Oh, was a great header there by Chiampong. Turning it away from his own goal. Ayi. Lamptey inside nicely to Kuma. Now Preko. Yes, just touching it about confidently. And it will be fatal for Paraguay to let them do this, especially if they can unleash passes from midfield to runners like Ayu and Kuofor and Preko, whom we see on this side of the field. And if I were the Paraguayans, I'd be worried about this stage of the game. Having said all of that, there's only one goal in it. Virtually anything can happen. Oops. Almost away by Kufor there. That's the fullback getting in a bit of a pickle. Oh, he got out of it well, luckily. Now away goes Ayu. He kept his eye on the ball well, but the referee might have considered a handling offence. And the player from FC Metz will be playing against his brother in the French First Division next season. Watch him again. A trifle unfortunate. Paraguayans, certainly by South American standards, a lumbering team. They do get a corner out of it though. Bernard Ayi. He comes from a team romantically called the Heart of Oaks, which is in Accra, of course. Corner kick. And it's touched over there by number 5, Ayala. He rose well. Of course, I mean, that's I think that's probably the only instance in which the big central defender, who is noted for coming forward like this, has had an opportunity. Now, will this give them just a little bit more sparkle? Picked up by Yara. Well, I think the crowd in the back said it all, that ironic cheer. I could say Paraguay are disappointing because I didn't really expect all that much from them. I thought they would be solid enough, a bit more physical than maybe some of the other South American sides. But I think they've even sunk below my modest expectations, to say the least. Ghana clearly with more flair. And having said that, the commentator gives the ball away for them. Pushing forward, Duarte. Neatly picked up there by Asari. And I think Ghana, if they really want to keep going in this game, do not want to mix it with the Paraguayans. I think they will use their weight eventually. Be very surprised if they don't get slightly physical in the second half. They're trailing 1-0, showing nothing terribly positive. And picked up here now by Alvarenga. Oh. All petering out very badly. Alvarenga, the player you last saw from Mandiza Corrientes in Argentina, one of the players who's considered to be above the average in Paraguay, selling himself to Argentina football. Careless header back there by Lamptey, just came off for him. And that's better play there by Duarte. He came forward, he's looking on the far side for Ferreira. Is it just too much? Just kept in. Fighting hard, very well. Caballero coming in. And I think the referee giving the benefit of the doubt to Asari. I think it was quite a legitimate probe there by Mauro Caballero. Still 1-0. Now make it about 8 minutes to half time. Sanabria. Coming forward again, Duarte. A little lob you would very politely call speculative. Way down the far side, and he's being looked after now. Ayew, they're marking him very closely. If it's not Ayala, it's Gamara who came across there. Gamara, who is the captain of the side. Looks slightly older than an under-23 Gamara, though I watched a FIFA under-15 World Tournament which was played in Scotland some years ago, when some of the Saudi players looked as if they were near the old age pension mark. Their birth certificates were very elusive, let's put it that way. Picked up there by Alvarenga. Yeah, the Ghanaians just getting slightly casual. I mean, I think they've got the winning of this game, but they're drifting into acceptance of that fact, and that is dangerous. Meanwhile, Ayew got one right on the face. Chelsea Ayala. Here is Asari. Brought down by Gamara, sent inside again. Way wide. Alvarenga. So, 5 minutes left for Paraguay to pick themselves up, do something. That's what I said about the rather casual play creeping into the pattern in midfield. Ayew. 1-0 is never enough in a football match, despite the obvious superiority of one over the other. Alvarenga. Echeverri looks for the 1-2, and their lack of ability to keep possession of the ball in tight space has been one of the major failings of the Paraguayans. They're not able to do things like that, for example. You've just been watching there from Ayew. Oh no, there's a break. Now it's a 1-against-1. Oh no, bad one by Ayew. Took his eye off the ball, and he knows it. He did the right thing. He committed himself to the shot. I think he was trying to slice across it with his right foot. Maybe put a little bend on it. Sosa. Picked up again by the advancing Yara on the left. Gets a little bit of support this time. Alvarenga. Oh, there's a great effort. Their first real strike in this match. And Mensah knew absolutely nothing at all about that as Sosa, Hugo Ranfula Sosa from Sportiva Lequeno let fly. And you know, for 40 minutes we simply thought the Paraguayans had nothing like that in them. And just after I'd said that 1-0 is never enough, up comes the illustration for it. Well, the game could do with more of that, that's for sure. Duarte. What a warning. Warning to the Ghanaians to arouse from the slumbers. Free kick. And just before half-time, the Paraguayans mounting a little bit of pressure just at the right time. Jose Kufor, player from Torino I was talking about. And the free kick. I make it just about 2 minutes to the half-time whistle. Still 1-0. Now, can Paraguay fetch one back? Oh, well away. Kufor came right back there. You just saw him in the close-up, and there he was, heading it away. And uncertainty between Champong and the goalkeeper. There was no shout. Clearly no shout. And they've suddenly realized that they can maybe penetrate this Ghanaian defense. And what they haven't done significantly is throw their weight about. I mean, that might be something they have to contemplate. And he's given a free header. Oh, where was the Ghanaian defense on the left? Quite incredible. The freedom he was given there. Duarte coming in. Just watch it again. A very good blind run, and they were simply spectators. He didn't get it quite right, of course. After all, he is a full-back, getting away from his marker well, and Asari will have to ask himself some questions about how his immediate opponent slipped in behind him like that. Yara. That's the time. The score is still 1-0, and we've seen the very best of Paraguay in the last 5 minutes. I'm not quite sure if they've been rather overawed by the kind of fluency of the Ghanaians and not wish to come out of a kind of defensive shell, but exerting that kind of pressure, Ghana has looked vulnerable at the back. There's no doubt they cannot match the Ghanaians for skill. Oh no, it was too flat. And they had covered up. This is the kind of pressure I was talking about, and this time it was Gamara wishing to come through. They've suddenly wakened up Paraguay. Yara. Just a bit unfortunate, he lost his balance there, but Alvarenga picks up and swept away there by Amankwa. And still they come forward, Paraguay. Much their best spell in the match. And all ending. Push to the foot here. Kumar. Oh, becoming very careless, and they might be punished for it, could they? No. Alvarenga couldn't get any freedom on the right. Well, I mentioned earlier that the Paraguayans simply had not used their physique, if you like. Now, I don't mean that in a negative sense, but they haven't tried to intimidate by being much more powerful and aggressive the way they come forward. And then in the last 5 minutes they have. and have showed ways of breaking down this defense. They look a more powerful team now. Will they get a free kick out of that? No. Well into stoppage time. It's still 1-0. And that might promise for an interesting second half if the Paraguayans are picking up the game like this. And there goes the halftime whistle. The referee, Ali Boujayem, bringing the first 45 minutes plus to an end. And what a kind of Jekyll and Hyde performance by the Paraguayans. Simply beaten by the pace and the fluency and the versatility of the Ghanaians in midfield, and then losing that goal obviously to Ayew, a bit of good header and looking well out of it. And then the last 5 minutes, by sheer tenacity, pounding forward, trying to strike from even further out, then being far more intimidating, and the Paraguayans looking as if they could break down this defense, but still trailing at halftime by 1-0. Join us for the second half. Exactly hanging on the ropes. They were certainly looking shaken from time to time, and there is a sub. Campas is on, number 20, Jorge Luis Campos. He looks very much like another player in the squad, Benitez, and off we go into the second half with Paraguay. I think certainly they must have picked up on the confidence in the way they were managing to disturb the Ghanaians in the last 5 minutes, and floated in there by Alvarenga. Well, there's a great effort there. Duarte. Up he came, and that is a kind of running I was talking about that was happening just before the end of the first half, going straight into the heart of this defense. The Ghanaians have looked very, very good in the way they've flowed the ball about, but they do look a little bit fragile. And the bigger and more physically attuned Paraguayan players, I think, could show something here and make an impression. There it goes, the more direct pass. And this could be interesting, an entirely different change of style and attitude by Paraguay in the second half. Oh, we're getting another substitution. Number 7 about to come on for Ghana. That'll be Ali Rahman. They're just preparing to bring him on. Trying to catch the referee's eye. And already number 20 from Paraguay, Campos, is on. Campos, off he goes. Ayew, who I thought played rather well in the first 45 minutes. Off he goes, and on comes that player I was talking about, Rahman. Oli Rahman, midfield player who comes forward a lot, aggressive player. Run down this far side by Preco. Well, that's very interesting indeed, because what we had in the first half was Preco attacking the Paraguayan defense on the other side of the field. Now they've shifted him to the left. There he is. Oh, they want to come forward now. That was Lamptey. Neat little touch, and the game boiling up a little bit now. That's what we need. A little bit of ebb and flow that we didn't quite get in the first half. Archie into Gamara, the captain, inside to Alvarenga. Alvarenga way went, a very good one. Yara. Up comes a challenge from Duarte again. I mentioned, if you can recollect, right away back at the kickoff, that this man you're seeing here, Duarte, was really basically a winger who came back to defend and just conventionally wears a number 2 on his shirt. And he's getting forward a lot more now. The coach has had a good reading of this first half. Oh, there's a touch, it must be off the line. And they're appealing for the goal. Looking away across to the linesman. Whipped off the line there by Asari. They really thought that was over. Now, I don't think we're able to see from this angle He went up very well indeed, and that was a little touch. He wasn't in an offside position. And certainly Pereira was claiming that had gone over the line. And having said all of that, the Paraguayans settled down very quickly. And they're looking the more impressive team now. There's no question at all about that. They picked up the gauntlet. 5 minutes to go in the first half. And the halftime break has meant nothing at all to end that memento. Flashing shot there, number 16, Arche. A much, much better half. We've only played about 5 minutes, and the Paraguayans have realized they've found perhaps a key to disturb the Ghanaians. But really, I think, facing a bit of adversity now, and Duarte coming forward more and more on the right. Now, can Ghana just cool it a little, stroke the ball about, keep possession, not be rattled? That's really basically what their aim has to be now. Swept forward there by Asari, the man who just cleared the ball off the line. Rahman, the sub. And off it goes, and I think in any case with a bit of pushing going on there, it'll be a free kick. Forward they go. Pereira looking as far side again, looking right across, and we had Alvarenga breaking away on the left as Duarte tried to pick it up. Headed away, touched away there by Gamara. Oh, nice. Really the hit and run again there by Ayu, and he was playing up a little bit. Referee not letting him away with that one. Good run on the outside, and what a change in this game. The whole complexion of it is. There's a challenge from Paraguay now. Oh, Ferreira let it go well beyond them. I think he felt that Yara was coming up as expected on the left. He was about 10 yards out of touch though. Well, Amankwa got his foot to that, and I think the Ghanaians are perplexed about this. The stronger looking team playing to that strength now, their physique. And nobody coming in and support as Ferreira trying to take it away with a head again. Drifting away across the field, Kuma. Now they're winning the tackles, Paraguay. Alvarenga. And touching it inside and going to try for goal! Just to the side, and the sub Campos pushed to the side to him, and very wisely deciding to let fly, and I think he almost nutmegged the defender coming across, which partially blinded the goalkeeper. Certainly very well set up there. Freer running on the outside. This is the man I was talking about, Preco on the left, and there's a glorious save by Ruiz. It's still in danger. And what an improvement, as I said. Ghanaians trying to come back, even though they've been harassed and pushed back into the penalty area, and the shot there was by Kuma. Now that's a better angle. Now I think the goalkeeper made a meal of this all the same. Taking it with having to turn his body across and punch it. His clearance might have been better than that. The shot was not angled. And Ghana holding on to that 1-0 lead. Ayala. Remember, it'll be the first time either will have been in an Olympic semi-final. More and more Paraguay getting better service in the last third of the field. Swept away forward. That was picked up by Sanabria. Now taken by Lamptey. That's a good looking ball. Picked up there. Rahman coming in, and there's a great chance, and just tucked to the side. It must be a goal. It's a second. It's a second for Ayew. The FC Mets player coming up, and I think the miss might have been a miscue to start off with on the left, but Kwame Ayew, and I think against the trend of play, it has to be said, yes, it was Preco who tried to, I think, touch it into the net himself, and although Ayew has struck cleaner balls than that, it went over the line, 2-0. And just at a time when Paraguay looked as if they were coming back into the game strongly. Now, will this kill them off?
Let go!
And the goalkeeper must be feeling miserable, apart from the physical pain there, the indignity of losing a goal just when he had seen his team press home, or almost press home, the advantage, and there in the driving seat. 2-0, and both goals scored by Kwame Ayew, the brother, let me repeat, of Abedi Pele. Obviously that talent runs very strongly in that family. It'll take an enormous effort for Paraguay to pick themselves up from that. I mean, one goal in it, they were looking good, and now this could put them flat on the back. This really now is a test of character. Iñárritu put it forward, the run again by Ayew. That goal coming in 10 minutes, and we'd hardly seen Ayew in the second half. Well, we've certainly seen him now. He has placed a very large imprint on this game. Better movement on the ball by Alvarenga. But where is his support? There it is, just inside. He tries too much, though. Touched away by Achiampong. Ayew, lovely flowing player when he picks the ball up in midfield like that. Duarte. Touched in by Duarte again, and they badly need a goal. And if they don't get one in the next 15 minutes or so, I think you'll see them sinking. Away by Nchempong. Easily picked up by Kumar. On to Nchempong. On the far side to Amankwa. Well, they had been a rattled team. There's no question at all about that. And then suddenly that striker being in the right place at the right time. Forward comes Gamara. Back to Ghana. Nice, neat little turn there, pushed to the outside by Campos. Duarte, well taken out of the game. Neat little touches by Kumar. Oh, and gets a little bit too clever by half. Look at determination about Paraguay, but they'll need more than that, because look at that tackling now by Ghana. It's clean and incisive, which it has to be. Tackle there by Kufuor. Just playing it out of play, making it simple. Using the far post into Duarte again, and there's nobody coming in at the right time for them. And that man Duarte, if he can get the service on the right, either by foot or by head, is touching it back into the penalty area. And even though they know it's coming, he's always getting that ball, he's always getting the final touch. Kumar likes to hold on to the ball and drag players towards him. Asari. Now asking a little bit much on that far side. Several players have got to watch themselves in this game, of course, for yellow cards. Amankwa and Achiampong and Asari have had a yellow card, another one. And if they were to win the way through to the semi-final, they wouldn't be allowed to play. Well, you saw how cutely Achiampong came across there. Held his balance very well, decided not just to put it out of play, but put it downfield. And Achiampong plays for a team rather colourfully called Goldfield. And I think they might be getting a little nearer the gold, Olympic gold tonight. 2-0 up, Ghana. And we've just played over 15 minutes of this second half. And you better wonder if they really have killed Paraguay off. It might have totally dispirited Paraguay, that second goal, but they don't look it yet. They're still coming forward. And that's a better shot, a goal! Going wide. I think the angle from behind the goal might just reveal that. It was always going away from goal. Yes, indeed, outside of the foot. A little too much swerve. And again, Sosa. You saw Sosa in the first half deciding to let fly, and I think his coach has said to him, don't bother about waiting to see the whites of the eyes, just get in there. Alvarenga, and the substitution as Nepa comes off. Alvarenga off. Nepa now on. Nepa, by the way, Gustavo Alfredo Nepa from Argentina. He plays in Argentina football. Actually is a player in Cremonense's books, the Italian club relegated. So they think a lot of him. He has a reputation of being a very talented player, very intelligent player, maybe not just as pacey as they would like. And a good run forward here by Pereira. Runs out of steam though. And it's a free kick. Yeah, free kick to Paraguay. Interesting little position there. That obstruction brought about that free kick. And a yellow card produced. And Achiampong has already been yellow carded, as I said. Which means he misses the semi if they get through. And he pushes them back very carefully. Free kick now. Paraguay really got to try and exploit situations like this. Tried everything else. Running right into trouble. Not a very clever one. Still have players forward there. Good goalkeeping, but he's out. Can he lay it to the side? No. Pereira couldn't push it away. On it goes to Duarte. Now touched into the sub. And Nepa, newly on, already in the thick of the fray. Nepa, number 10. Well handed to Paraguay, they're still fighting very hard. You wouldn't bet on them now, but they haven't given up. And again, a nice little spell by them, deciding to push forward as much as they can. Taken down well there, but a great save there by Mensah. And no wonder they're frustrated. They need a little break or two. And Ayew is down as the pressure is lessened there by that clearance. As I said, you cannot fault them, and Yara, who's provided such difficulty for Ghana on the right side of the defense, coming forward again there. It's direct, but the Paraguayans are better when they are direct. And down is the dual goal scorer Kwame Ayew, seeking a little bit of assistance. I wouldn't deny that he is injured, but nevertheless it is always a possible ploy when a team is in the ascendancy and they're flowing very well, for a player to stop the play and thus interrupt the flow of play of the superior team. But I think he really was genuinely hurt. What a yellow card for Ayew. Well. I wonder if it passed through the referee's mind. What was passing through mine? Didn't think he was too badly hurt, that's for sure. Anyway, the pressure went off the Ghanaians. The pot went off the boil. And that's what that stoppage of play produced. Body followed by Caballero. And these two wide players have been excellent, Duarte and Yara. Yara on the left again. Sought a little 1-2, but too many yellow jerseys in there, working very hard for each other. Yara. Or Duarte rather. Duarte it is. And look at the way Asari is sticking to him, limpet-like. Too obvious. He made a quick recovery, didn't he? I am referring to Ayew. Touched in there by Rahman. Picked up by Nyarko. On this side, Asari. Has he got the legs here? Not quite. Beautifully swept in there by Gamara, the captain. Right in the middle of the field, Alvarenga. Nice little through ball there. Ferreira getting a lot of support in his right-hand side. Yara. Slack pass though. Tied himself a knot. Picked up by Nepa. Touch forward there by Ayew. Well, the Ghanaian coach, I think, realizes things are going well for him. So Paraguay come on, still trailing by 2-0. I make it we're about halfway through the second half. It must be extremely galling for a team to realize that they have found a kind of semi-solution to how to break down a defense when they're 1 goal behind, and suddenly they're 2-0 behind. But that's a better move, and the final ball not effective enough. Taken by that big man, Mtiampong. Well, it's always good when it comes off, but that was totally fortuitous. Now they're giving a lot of support in midfield. Swept in there by Sosa. Neat little ball back then. Can he get his shot? And he can! Oh, it's just passed. He did so well, Pereira. Francisco Pereira. And a little bit unfortunate. Now let's see from behind the right angle. Right to go for it. And oh yes, a little bit unfortunate. That could have gone to either side. He did very well. And you just get the impression now that things are not going to work out for Paraguay. They're still making a game of it. They take credit for that. One of the given now use some freedom. Well, I'm not sure if that could be put down to selfishness, because to the left of him he had Prekel. Decided to take it himself, but then strikers have got little latitude in the way of making up their minds about things. He was after his hat-trick, that's what it was. As I said, we're just over the halfway stage now. 20 minutes remaining. Well, there's a bit of freedom. Picked up by Nepa. Trouble is, he didn't have all that much support close to him. Produced by Alvarenga. And Ghana have shown some very positive defensive work in the second half. Just every now and again I got the impression that they might buckle, but they haven't. They've had that little slice of luck. But they're still 2-0 up. That's what counts. Alvarenga comes forward, and a good run on the outside. At Duarte again. And where oh where with a number of players in the penalty area. One of the best players afield, there's no question at all about that. Neat little chip. He really needed not just that solo player you saw there on the 6-yard line, but at least three. They went up. It says a lot for Duarte that he's been running like that since the start of the game in high temperatures, and he's still going and still maintaining that threat down the right. Sosa. Arce. And I think offside, yes. Offside, Pereira. Anguished look on the face. Realizes that the hands of the clock are very much against them. Now then, you may be saying to yourself, well, watching this game, it's all a bit technical and academic in many ways. What the game is lacking, I think you might be feeling, is crowd. I mean, all these efforts at goal would produce in a stadium, a filled stadium, the kind of atmosphere and the reaction to the play. And it's lack of reaction we're getting in the moment, but you can't fault some of the play on the field, which has been technically very sound and sometimes quite inspirational. Well, they're still trying to pump this forward to Ayew, but outnumbered that time. On it goes to Duarte. Looks for it back again, inside this time. Oh, and that was beautifully read by Achiampong. He just stepped up. He could see the play going across field and steps in. Physically, just physically, and indeed in some of the style that he's been playing in, Achiampong reminds me of Boli of France. Although, to be honest, I haven't seen him kicking anybody yet. There's a substitution. Number 14, Callaloo is on now. Number 14, Callaloo from that sort of English name team, the Heart of Oak. Where goes wide. Duarte again. Back this time to Sosa. A tired-looking pass that time by Sosa. So many yellow jerseys back in defense, and they're simply leaving Ayew up on his own. Now, it seemed very little of Preko in the second half. As I said, this is the player you saw going down the right in the first half. Beautifully tackled there, though, by Gamara, the captain. On it goes to Asi. And too far ahead of Ferreira. And it all peters out. As I said, that's a surprisingly English-sounding name called the Heart of Oak. Provides no fewer than 5 of the players for the Ghanaian squad. That, by the way, Achiampong, that last figure you saw there is a guy I think reminds me very much of Bowley, the Marseille and French internationalist. No doubt he has watched Bowley often. Never. That's a good-looking ball, almost getting through. Superb play there, though, by Amankwa, the fullback. Not a bad ball to take the way he did, and again, just off balance. Well, as I've said, you've got to compliment the Paraguayans for trying the way they have. And Campos getting into a fine position, but unable just to get the right poise to put it away. I'd like to be able to tell you who's done that. Yes, it's a Kufor. I think he's twisted himself. Let's go back to that miss there. It's one of these games where I think frustration begins to affect the final touch and finishing. And I think you saw it there. Kufor going off tragically. He might return. We shall see. I make it exactly 15 minutes remaining. It looks a pretty hopeless task now for Paraguay. I like the way that Paraguay have kept at it all the same. Well, coming through very good now. What's the finish like? It's an own goal! 2-1! And the man I likened to Bowley, Achiampong, has almost burst the net with that. Well, that's tragic. But Paraguay worked so hard for it. He had to go for it. There was no question at all about that. I think it was accidental the way the ball got through on the far side. Ferreira having it in, but oh dear. There's nothing worse than to turn around and see you put it in the back of the net like that. 2-1, and now, less than 15 minutes ago, we have a real game in our hands. It's not the first time I have written a side off for the commentary and to come back and prove me wrong. I don't mind being wrong under these circumstances. It makes for good entertainment, and I think Paraguay are going to throw everything at Ghana now. Well, there's another, surely offside. I would have thought so. Campos coming forward. So, stay with us. Anything could happen in this game. No, there was a touch there, and I wonder if that was a clear miss. It looked at first as if he might have been in an offside position. A look back at that again suggests there was certainly a deflection off the defender, and he may not have been in an offside position when that happened. I'll put that down as a miss. And the Ghanaian lead is now the slenderest of threads. They've got to keep their head now. Paraguay look very strong. Beginning of their season, as it were. Ghanaians in mid-season, I think I mentioned that earlier on. And so it's a test of fitness apart from anything else. Well, that might be quite serious, in fact. Kufo down there, the Torino player. And of course, they keep providing the ball and quality ball to Kwame Ayu up front. He does have the ability to turn the tide. This is Amankwa. Long throw specialist, and Akyu was up for that. There he is again, Amankwa. Slag pass by Lapti. And I think a free kick to Paraguay right on the halfway line. I think they really have to be very adventurous in the way they come forward now. There's nothing else for it. Of course, they might expose themselves at the back, but forward they come. Don't have enough players there. Well, that's a beautiful ball. Duarte can't get it though. Excellent pass, piercing the defense, and he just didn't have the legs. And can you blame him? The amount of running he's done there, and I wonder if there is any athlete in the Olympic Village with the tenacity that he has. He just kept going on and on and on like a marathon runner. Asi. Now they're driving in from midfield, and that is a little bit too much maybe. No, he gets put still in play. Can he chip it over? What's the finish going to be like? Oh, he's done it! It's the equaliser! Number 20, Campos, the sub, pulls it back, and they are back from the dead. Paraguay! And can you blame them? If the poor man survives that scrum and goes on to finish, it'll be a bit of a surprise, as 3 defenders he passed. A little bit fortunate to get that break, but he slipped it back for Ferreira so coolly, and then comes Campos to bury it past 1, 2, 3 men. It looked as if the door was totally shut. 2 each. I must make it even more of a habit to write teams off just so early in the game. Campos, the scorer. And so little time left. Now where does your money go? The Paraguayans are finishing the second half the way they finished the first half. And that is simply by being physically aggressive, using a lot of direct runs, and it's paid off for them. Excellent second half altogether. And again picked up by Paraguay, driving forward. Duarte running on the side. No, Ferreira picks it up. Ferreira. They ran out of steam though. Taken well away by Nyarko. The break here on this side. Preco trying to go for it. And you get the impression that Ghana have run out of ideas. They're simply trying to stem the Paraguayan tide more than anything else. Could go anyway, but I fancy Paraguay now. Famous last words. This is Duarte. Not scared to take them on, laying it off to the side. Arce. Little too tight there. The yellow jersey's getting back to cover again. But when they start running wide on the flanks, that's when they break them down, and that's offside. Either Ferreira, as you saw there, or Duarte doing very well coming down the right. And just in that offside position, well. I don't know, looking at that picture again, suggested it was very, very even. Remember, when they're in line, they're onside. That's what I was talking about, getting the ball down the flanks like that. Good defensive work. That was Rahman who came back defending. 2 each. The game closing down towards the final 90 minutes. Inside here, Abelinga. Touched in by Sanabria. Well, that's a very good ball. Now he's got Duarte inside him. Good turn run by Campos, and he's outnumbered. Who he gets away from it in the final ball a little bit too high. It's still in play. And he got a corner out of it, surely. Well, Campos elaborated on that a little bit too much. On the other hand, the Ghanaians had got their defenders back in numbers. It'll be a corner kick. And this is where they look good, where Ayala came up and Gemara and Sosa, and in went the tackle. Ooh, that makes you cringe when you see it like that. Ferreira getting it. Low down in the shin. They've got some ice out there. A tense moment not only for this goalkeeper, Anthony Mensah from the Kotoka club, but for the entire Ghanaian team. Really up against it now. That's the magic sponge, of course, is well out of play now. And it goes, and up goes the goalkeeper Mensah. And look now how deep Ayew is lying. And so much of the game, when they've been under pressure, he's been lying just inside his opponent's half, but now he's coming back very, very much deeper. It's again played wide. Flipped forward there by Sanabria. Lying back deep, Ayew. In the middle, Achiampong. We probably won't like to see this game again. Preco. Trying to get people forward. Nice little attempt at a 1-2, and it's a free kick. It's a free kick in a very interesting position indeed. Now they've got several players who are very good with the dead ball situation. This is how the free kick came about. And they have got Lamptey who can hit it in well, Achiampong himself, Ayi and Ayew, and they'll have to cover up now. There's very little time left. I make it about 3 minutes. The game so very finely balanced, 2 goals each, and little moments like these can be the deciders. And it takes so long to get all this sorted out, of course. In the lineup there is Prekel for Ghana, and there's a yellow card for Ferreira. Ferreira getting the yellow card, number 7. And he's been dragged back there by a teammate. And they realize just how important this is. Now, could Ghana, having been tottering just a few minutes ago, save themselves and win the game out of a situation like this? Achiampong, no. Looked to me like a very half-hearted shot there by the big central defender, who was trying to make amends for that, well, error. I'm not sure you would call it an error. He was committed to trying stopping a shot in the line, and a ball bulleting into the net. 2-2, and I make it by my watch. About a minute and a half remaining. Swept forward there by Nepa, who's played very impressively, having come on as a substitute in the second half. And all Ghana want to do now is to do nothing silly at the back. That goes for either team, I suppose. There's nothing worse than trying to play out an important tie, a knockout competition like this. At that scoreline, you can see there, with so little remaining. The watch said that, well, that little caption said 2 minutes. I make it less than that by my watch. It'll be a free kick in any case, as Kuma went down. There we are. That's just about right. Coincides with my timing. There's about half a minute left. Still 2 each. Good forward run by Pereira, man you just saw being booked. He's looking for a little bit of support. Where is Duarte? There he is. Neatly back. Looking for that shot and goal, and it's just over. He did exactly the right thing, Archie, because the goalkeeper had come slightly to the left. Now, did he try to chip him? No, I think it was a full-blooded effort. And just for a moment, I thought it was just going to dip in, as you can see from this again. We're now in stoppage time. Forward goes Alvarenga. Oh, that's much too obvious attempt at a 1-2 and too many defenders in. Rico. That's a better ball, there's a little bit of opening there. Rico. And a weak effort. There will obviously be some stoppage time, but quite frankly, I'm not quite sure how long there will be. It's always dependent on the referee. I wouldn't have thought all that much. And the players must now be very tired indeed. Well, Olympics are Olympics and other sports are going on, and I'm not sure we can follow this all the way through because there are so many other sports to cover, and it may well be that we cannot show you the extra time. I'm sure that's a matter of negotiation at the moment. For football lovers, of course, it would be galling if you didn't, but lots of other people want to see other sports, and I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. I know which it would be if I had to, and there's a neat little ball through, and for a moment I thought all the bargaining wasn't going to be necessary. Still nothing, still 2 each. And I think you're seeing two very tired teams out there now, not bereft of ideas, but maybe the legs aren't doing what the mind is telling them to do, and there we are. It's finished 2-2, a remarkable fight back by Paraguay, assisted by Achiampong. They needed that little touch of luck to get them back on, and then that excellent goal, the second goal, and we now have that position in which we go to extra time. About to start this first half of extra time, and off we go. We have half an hour to decide this, and then perhaps into penalties. If we go into penalties, I'm not quite sure. I think I'll have to be apologizing even more to other events, although I do think athletics might just win out if we go to penalties, and we'll give you the result of that later. And like the game itself, all that is in a melting pot at the moment, and the score is 2 each. And I am convinced that neither team will want to go to penalties. Outstanding players have been, I think, mostly defenders. Amankwa has been great, and Chiampong, despite that own goal, very, very good. And at the back for Paraguay, Ayala and Sanabria playing strongly in midfield, but surely Duarte and Yara have been the main threats for Paraguay. That's headed away by Ayala. They simply cannot afford to play this game at any great rate now. It's got to be paced very carefully. It's always the case in a situation like this when temperatures are hot and we're going well into extra time. They've got to be economical with their effort. Out on the far side, Duarte again. Look at the pace of the man. Driving, and it's a very good ball indeed, and nobody in the left. He certainly got the player forward, and Ferreira came racing in, but far too central. There was nobody on the left. And it may well be that Duarte had outpaced everyone, even his own players. Still 2 each. We're in extra time if you're just joining us. Oh, and that was very intelligent play by Mensah, because that was all the way back to him. All football now and all defenses might be confounded by the new FIFA rule about the banning of the pass back by the foot. Pereira trying to go through the middle again, and there was no clean shot. I think a difficult bounce of the ball. Now this man, Nefa, came on as a substitute. Has been very, very impressive. I think we were all rather surprised that he wasn't on from the start. This is the player from Cremonense. He's on the books of Cremonense. So he plays his football in Argentina on loan. I think a free kick. Pushing there. That's too much. That rationing of effort, I think, went through the mind of Sosa. Paraguayans, I think, playing rather sensibly now. Not any great thrusts in midfield, just trying to play the ball way wide. Asari. And they're giving the ball away far too often in midfield like that. A bit of change of pace there by Kumar. Neat little flick back. That was that. These little touches, of course, the Ghanaians have been producing in this game to no great effect. Been in midfield, not causing any defensive anxieties for the Paraguayans. Swept across there. Rahman. They got the break. Ferreira was on the right. Duarte was too far behind that stage. I think Duarte must be tiring slightly. Can hardly blame him. There he is, picking it up now. Ferreira. Only two players inside and one hovering at the back. Oh, it needed a little dummy there, didn't it? Ayew, who has scored the 2 goals, has now come back deeper and deeper. There he is, picking the ball up there. Little unfortunate to slip, but they've made the break. Swept in there by Mankwa. And Mankwa, very good ball. He saw it coming. And then Askew coming through, and I think there might have been a slight push now. He's annoyed about that. Well, Sanabria was all in his own. The pace is discernibly slow, though. Neatly picked up. Rahman going forward. Lapti. No, far too obvious. They close the ranks very well. Sanabria bringing that away. Looking for support to the side. There's the 1-2. He tried to lay it back again. Touch there by Rahman. Swinging it on. Kalilu is now on as a sub. And I make it we've now played about 7 minutes of extra time. Kalilu sweeping it on there to Raman. Raman can't get any opening. And Paraguay just get away with that. The counter-attack. Ooh, far too ambitious, that one. He's certainly not a sprinter coming out of the blocks. Touch forward there by Kufor, picked up by Asari. Now into Kuma. Preko picking up. It's a better ball there. Raman. And they're picking them off now, Paraguay, trying to hit them on the counter-attack. Struggling a little to keep the pace going. Just in there by Ferreira. On the far side, Duarte. Firing it in, good save though, Mensah. Entirely right to have a goal from that angle. He tried to keep it low, and from that angle, if you'd had a camera behind them there, you would have thought that, you would have realized there were very little other option. There he is again, coming in, superb game he's having. He might, if he had been cynical, have played for a penalty kick there. It had all the shape and the configuration of a defender coming in wide and being brought down from behind. It did pass through my mind, but it's a corner kick. Deciding on that outswinger, there's the big man up again, Ayala. Time to Sosa, the man who can try them from a long distance. We've already seen a couple of efforts from way out, from about the 35-yard range. Nine minutes of the first half of extra time gone, still 2 each. And the only thing it lacks is crowd, reaction. Bit of atmosphere, bit of passion coming from the stands as well as from down there on the benches. Swept in there by Raman. Kuma. Beautiful little run, lacks a bit of support. Headed away there by Gamara. Pressure still on. And offside, I think. The Paraguayans very glad to see that flag going up on the far side. That's a useful ball to Pereira. Yes, he was waiting for Duarte to come up and give him support. Duarte on the outside, but he doesn't get it this time. Brought away by Achiampong on Takuma. Achiampong edging forward. Sure, he would love to get his name in the goal sheet in the positive way. Preko breaking in. And too many Paraguayan defenders there. Ferreira. Duarte wanted it back again. Ferreira, I think, is very tired. There he is, picking the ball up now. It's a little bit of acceleration. Can he put it across? No! He could have laid it in. Decided to go to the outside. And to get another corner kick. The pace getting slower and slower. Kufo right back in the heart of defense. With an in-swinger, swept away by Amankwa. Still in the danger zone and nobody on the left. Oh dear. They didn't know where they were, and that is Twice the ball has been cleared off the line. They really exposed that defense there. They simply were not expecting that low daisy cutter swirling into the near post. And I don't think anybody, not least television schedulers, wants this to go to penalties, that's for sure. A few executives will be down on their knees just now praying for a result. It's not going to come yet because that's offside. And unfortunately, we've got an interruption to picture. And we have a difficult position. I hope we can pick up again. Sorry, we lost that picture for a second. I thought it was maybe a television executive pulling the plug on us. Luckily, it's come back. We've still got football. We're still first choice. For much longer, I'm not sure, but away we go. It's the Paraguayans' counter-attack. Well, that's a better-looking ball, but a good defense right in there. They've got that extra man back again. Now picked up here by Rahman. Seen a lot of the ball in the second half, Rahman. It's long and through, and there was a pace of Ayew. We've seen very little of him in the second half, or throughout the second half and in extra time, which means I would think that he's still fresh for a little burst forward. That was Nepa pushing it around. Nepa calling for the ball inside. There he is. And the attempts at little 1-2s outside the box are becoming almost like slow motion replays. A little bit tired, a little bit obvious for defenses. Achiampong. Kuma. Rahman. Sadi. Back with the Paraguayans though, letting them play about like a basketball team. Free kick, no. No, the referee didn't seem to think so. Sanabria swept in there to Ayew. Still 2 each. And I make it now within the, or just about getting into the last 5 minutes of this first period of extra time. Goalkeeper, quite apart from the 2 goals that he's conceded, Mensah has had some solid looking saves without being really overstrained. A little bit flamboyant like the man at the other end, Rees, but effective. And it's Nefa about to take this corner kick, deciding on the in-swinger. This time it is touched in, no! I thought it was heading into that right-hand corner. What more can I do, he's saying. Well, the Spanish equivalent, and there was a little gliding touch of the head. Watch that again. Well, every time that Ayala comes forward into the penalty area, he's causing difficulties for the Ghanaians because he's bigger than them. He's got a good leap, but it's still no scoring in extra time. It's still 2-all. Could go anywhere. And this is where the set positions could be extremely important. And also creeping into this, as it always does, is the fear of slipping up at the back if you're pressing forward. Because one goal at this stage, just one goal at this stage, means it's very difficult to pick yourselves up again. A quarter-final that looked to be heading so logically Ghana's way, and Paraguay fighting back. Well, they signaled exactly what they were going to do in the second half in that last 5 minutes of the first, when suddenly they decided, and rightly so, to put the emphasis on direct, straightforward, physical aggression, strong runs at the defense, and that is why they're still in with a chance. If the score 2 each, as we're about to go into the second period of extra time. United Arab Emirates referee about to start this game. And penalties may be marvelous for spectators, but they're awful for players. I regard them as a much better way to finish a game, nevertheless, than playing to a finish. But here we have Ghana now on the attack, and headed away there by the tall and impressive header Ayala. 15 minutes remaining, or just under. Played out to Apreko. Inside it goes almost to Kuma. And there's a drifted shot there out of virtually nothing. Spot the ball at the moment. I like that little fishnet we've got. And Paraguay had better watch they don't catch a cold. They were a little bit slack there. On this side, Gamara. Swept the way forward, but too many yellow jerseys again, and again a Gianciampo. Lamptey. Oh, no. Haven't been all that impressed by Lamptey this evening. Seems to have been rather marked out of the game, not given the freedom. Of course, he's a talented player. The Paraguayans have known all about him. Neat little cut off there by Amankwa. On it goes there to Rahman. However, my point is still in Paraguay. Sanabria, number 14, you saw there in midfield, and he's done a lot of hard work, and that is why the game is now at walking pace. It's a matter of caution and tiredness. That's what we're seeing at the moment. As defense is afresh, and this big man is determined to come forward and redress the balance for that own goal. Looked a tidy run there by Kuma. Well marked off by Gamara. Gamara, the captain of the side from Cerro Portento. Headed way across there by Kufor. He cleared it off. Now the sub. Nefa. Oh, careless ball forward though. On this side, it's Asari, still 2 each. Neat little chip forward, good clearance again by Ayala. Powerful in the air. And they're saving their energy for the spot forward in the latter third part of the field. Just like that. That was hesitation. And that's unlike Amankwa. He's been a positive and certain influence in that defense. Looking for Ferreira right on the penalty spot. That wasn't the best of headers out of defense, but nobody to pick it up for Paraguay. Now they've got 3 players in there. They can't lay it off to one another. What an opportunity missed. Jara trying to get down the left again, there he is. The final pass, a little bit wayward. Up comes Jati, but there's nobody inside him immediately. Lacking quality support. Free kick. We've now played 5 minutes. There's 10 minutes of actual play left, and it's still 2 each. Penalties looming. Pushed forward there by Asari. Oh, was that not a tired pass if ever I saw one? Kufo trying to push that through. Now it's the quality of the break from a situation like this for either Paraguay or Ghana that's going to mean something. Number 14 there, Kalilu, the substitute, mixing up with Ferreira. Quite like Ferreira. He's a player you might describe as a kind of old-fashioned poacher, just staying up there, swapping places occasionally with Nefa, who came on as a sub, just trying to nip something in the bud. I think he's glad of the rest. Wonder if it's cramp, if something got it. No, it's just at the back of the ankle. Achilles, maybe. That's the player I was talking about, Ferreira, Francisco Ferreira. Well, I've seen many an extra time in my day. This is possibly slower than many I've seen. These are young players, remember, under 23. They've taken a lot out of themselves. Very, very punishing out there in the heat. And we're still evenly poised, 2-2. Just one little break will make it, as the Paraguayan bench knows only too well. Duarte. And any scout from Europe watching this game will have noted that name down very, very well. Underlined in red. Andres Duarte from Cerro Porteño. Whipped away by Achiampong. Tapal empty. Kumar. Right across to Asari. And still keeps a nice little touch that. I think it's a free kick. Now this could be interesting. And a yellow card there for number 14, Sana Priya. Adding to their lists of yellow cards. Free kick, that's perhaps the more important thing. What can Ghana do with this? The big man, Achiampong, came up to take the last one. It was about as effective as a deflated balloon. So they may change ploy this time. I don't think they've got a black Ronald Koeman in the ranks. They try to swerve it, and it looks like Asari might have a go. He does have a go, and it's a bar! Oh, it almost took the wood away. They were all standing in a dream. Not for one moment did they think they would get it through. There's a shot, it goes, a beautiful goal! 3-2 for Ghana. No wonder the goalkeeper's thumping the net there. The goal by Rahman. That is an indication of grief by the goalkeeper, as that was slotted home with the greatest of conviction. They were most unfortunate in the first place. Asari's shot almost took the crossbar away, and then it fell so neatly to the foot of Rahman, who bulleted it away. And that is a devastating blow to Paraguay. And to me with my pound as well. But when you see a glorious goal like that, so what? Now then, they've got the winning of it in the palm of their hands. They've blown it already. There's so little time left for Paraguay, but they've been valiant and courageous in getting to this stage at all after being 2-0 behind. And now 3-2. And Duarte still pounding forward. Great performance, and surely he was fouled. No, well, I think he's most unfortunate. The benefit of the doubt going to the defender. And Duarte has been so effective. Mark you, the bonus to everybody else, including our planners, is it looks as if it's not going to go to penalty kicks. Up high. Now Paraguay shows a little bit more of what you showed us earlier in the game. A bit of fight. Playing for pride, the country, and it all paid off for them. Little 1-2 on the edge of the box. That's what they need. Swept away there by Yako. And now you'll see the African nation pulling back as many as they can when Paraguay are on the ball. Just trying to find territory like an American football player. Getting it away from the danger zone, that's the top priority. 4 minutes remaining. 4 minutes between Ghana and the semi-final of the Olympic tournament for the first time in their history. Ghana, a nation that's been promising so much in World Cup football. They never got into the World Cup yet. Now taken away there by Sanapria, the man has been booked. Following up on that, and across came Achiampong. Now will Ghana hold out? Because there's little doubt that Paraguay are going to throw everything at him again, as he did at the end of the first half and so much of the second half. Oh, that's a gift for Achiampong. I make it now 3 minutes remaining. Neat little play that time by Lepti. It's loose. It's to Ayun. He puts it inside, and I think it's offside. 3 minutes remaining, as you saw there up on the top left hand of the screen. And the break there by Preco, who was played firstly on the right in the first half and then on the left. Now what can he do about this? The trouble is they don't have the energy they had earlier in the game. That is a decided handicap. They've got determination all right. They're not going to give up until the final whistle goes. But the legs are beginning to go. You could see it there. You can see that the head said, let's do a little swerve around one side and then the other, and it wouldn't come. And they just want to kick the ball anywhere. There might be a little touch of cramp going on now. And they pull it out of the bag. Pereira tries to put it forward. Swept away, as I say. They won't care where the ball goes now. They're, by my watch, well under 2 minutes to making Ghanaian footballing history, getting into the semi-final of the Olympic tournament. They pulled it out of the bag twice when it looked as if the trend was going against them. That's a tempting ball, but plucked from the bush by Anthony Mensah. So, a minute and a half left, 3-2. Trying to find out this bustling little player, Preco. And it's a corner kick. That's exactly what Ghana wanted. The ball down at this end. And the hands of the clock ticking remorselessly on. The Ghanaians already celebrating. And why not? And Paraguay not yet disillusioned, but looking slightly bemused. They fought back twice, and now it looks as if the final prize is being snatched from under the very noses. And here is Amankwa, the fullback, up to take this corner kick. That's the time left. The linesman telling me he's checking time. And a long punt forward. Now who's got the legs up front? Amankwa, I beg your pardon, Achiampong. Watching that ball very closely. It's put in there by Nefa. Brought forward there by Sanapria. Up
to the edge of the box. Did he get away? No, whipped away by Achiampong. It's still 3-2. Now Duarte coming up, the effort it is, and he gets a corner surely out of this. Might this be the last effort? Look at the clock ticking away there. I cannot tell you how much injury time, how much stoppage time there'll be. But they're going to push on with it. We're now into that. It's still 3-2. Paraguay. One last final push to save this game, and it's almost in. It's off the line. They're appealing it's in. It was taken off the line. It looked over, and away they break. It's no goal. And here's an interesting break. Caneleon off to the side. He has indeed. Cracker going in. Can he put it away? And there is a goal by Ayew. Ayew's hat-trick, and that signs, seals and delivers the semi-final for Ghana. 4-2. A classic sucker punch after all that pressure. I thought he was going to be offside there, but he took it so coolly, and Ayew not only celebrates getting through to the semi-final, but his personal hat-trick on a glorious night for the African nation.